Hi, if you're going through a breakup, you may be in the phase where all you can see is what is good. And you know what? That's okay because it has its place. It does seem like when a relationship ends, prior to that ending, all we saw was what was bad. The second it ends, all we can see now is what is good. Hi, my name is Olivia, and I am passionate about helping you to understand what relational trauma is, how to get through it, overcome it, and ultimately to move on with your life. Okay, so today is all about how to get through a breakup. This is actually a grief exercise. You can go back. I will leave a link for a playlist where you can understand or learn about what is grief work, how to set time aside to do it. And then this is actually a grief work exercise we're going to talk about. So it is important. The prior video talked all about what was bad. And we also said sometimes we're very polarized. We just see what's good or we only look at what was bad. And both of those places keep you stuck. So whether you're just looking at the good or just looking at the bad, not good. And the reality is there was probably both. So today is all about what was good. Even if you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the relationship, it will be worth it. And it's always I'm a bit hesitant because I think, don't get stuck there. Yes, look at what was good, but don't get stuck and hang on and romanticize and turn your ex into a hero, because we said it's pretty hard to let go of a hero. And chances are they're not a hero, they're a person. And this is painful, but it is what comes with the breakup. So today's all about what is good. And again, even if you have to go back to the start, because the problem is eventually the sting or the burn or the pain of the what was bad will dissipate. And then all the what was good is going to come up probably when you least expect it. And that's going to get us sucked back into it. So we want to just take a look at both of it intentionally, write it down, put it on the table, look it over, sort through it, file it away so that we can move on. Okay, so I'm going to ask some prompting questions. And again, if it becomes too much, just shut the video off. Remember, this is not therapy. This is just a writing exercise that you can do. Take a break, come back to it. If it gets too overwhelming, then I would encourage you to seek help from a local professional in your area, because again, this is not therapy. Okay, so here is a list of prompts for what was good to kind of help pull some of that out of you. And it's found on page 16 of I Can't Believe How Much This Hurts. And you can find this on Amazon. It's on sale right now. Also, there is a full course available for the book, and it is going to be in my description below if you're someone who just really wants to go through the whole course and just really deal with this so you can move on. Okay, so the first question, page 16, or the first writing prompt. Oh, this is a hard one. A time that took my breath away. This may be very painful. And again, this is why pause it, take breaks, come back to it when you're ready. And if you're never ready to go back to that, that's okay. Move on, watch another video. So talk about a time that took your breath away. I think for most of us, hopefully, there was one moment that really kind of like captured you and really hooked you, got you to be so invested in this relationship. So just think about a time that really took your breath away. And next one of my most cherished moments. What was one of your most cherished moments that you shared? So remember, we're not discounting the bad. We're not trying to idolize the good. We're just trying to acknowledge both so we can have a realistic look at what we just went through. So one of your most cherished moments, and you're just going to write about it. If you don't have a cherished moment, then you can write about how you don't have one. And maybe that was part of the problem. Or maybe you have many. Write about as many as you want. In fact, if it comes to mind as we're having this conversation or as I'm talking, then I would write it down because it's worth looking at. Another one, how I used to feel when we first met and I would see you or talk to you. Can you go back and remember what that felt like? What did you used to think? How did it used to feel? Where did you feel it? In your heart, in your stomach? You know, was it excitement? Was it like anxious anxiety that was a good anxious anxiety? Or was it anxious, afraid? Were you scared? Were you afraid you're going to mess it up? Or just anything. There is no right or wrong answer. Just try to go back and think of what that felt like so you can write about it. The next one, how you were different from anyone else I ever loved. So even if it was just that initial beginning, because here's the thing. Remember, the pain of the bad is going to dissipate at some point, and then you're going to start to romanticize. So we just want to be clear, like what is in here and here of how did I think they were so different? Because if that's in me, chances are eventually it's going to come up when all this other stuff starts to move. So how did you think they were different than anyone else you ever loved? And you may know better now You may know much better now, right? But there may have been a moment where you had this dream, this vision, and how did you see them as being different? Kind things you used to do for me. And if they never did, that's okay. You can write, I don't really remember you doing kind things for me. That's okay. Move on to the next one. Or if you can remember kind things they used to do for you, write as much about those kind things they used to do for you as you can. Another one, the way it made me feel to be with you. Maybe you felt really proud to be with this person. Maybe you felt important. Maybe you felt special. Maybe you felt, prettier or stronger or whatever it was. How did you feel, especially in the good days, the good old days? How did you feel being with this person? And write as much as you can for that. Another one, how I saw us in the beginning. So you probably had a view of them, you had a view of yourself, and you probably also had a view of you both as a couple. How did you, maybe it was like we were a power couple. We were, gonna do X, Y, Z. This was the way I perceived us and the vision I had for us. How did you perceive you both as a couple? What was some of that vision that you had? Remember, these are the things that haunt us later on and can suck us back in and start to romanticize something that actually probably had some bad too. And we want to make sure we have a level head of both. So that's why it's important to talk about it. Another one, my favorite names used to call me by. Maybe they had a cute little pet name they used to call you and something that made you feel special. Maybe something that no one has ever called you before. We kind of miss these things after the good days are gone and after relationship is over. So think of any pet names they had for you, if they did, and then you can write about it. Okay, we'll do one more. What was I hoping for in the relationship? What were you invested in? What was your hope that you would get from it, right? What were you putting all this time, effort, and energy in it for? What were you hoping that return would be? Maybe it was like a retirement in a cabin. Maybe it was raising grandchildren together. Maybe it was moving to Costa Rica. Anything. It could be anything. What were you hoping ultimately, right? Maybe to grow old with this person. What were you hoping to get from the relationship? So again, when we want to look back at the good, we can see why moving on is so hard, because I was so focused on the bad and now I'm realizing, oh, actually there was a part or a point where there was a lot of good, and that's what's making it hard for me to move on from. But again, it's not impossible. I trust you're going to find your way. If you like this, again, you can go to Relational Trauma 101. There you're going to find courses, also a link to the book. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next one.